Welcome everyone to this session. This is another session of success stories of the SEBI Grade A 2025 exam. So we have a very special person over here, officer in SEBI. He is Sahil, and I would like to welcome Sahil. First of all, congratulations on clearing SEBI Grade A 2025 exam. You can just let all of our audience know how are you feeling right now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, I'm feeling very good that I qualified this examination. I'm feeling a relief that I qualified. So, thank you, EduTap, for helping me in my journey. It would not have been possible without you. So, yeah, that's
Okay, so Sahil is actually he has completed his graduation and masters from IIT Madras, and wonderfully he was working in a IT firm already, right? And apart from that, he cleared the SEBI Grade A 2025 exam in a very wonderful manner. So we'll try to get cues and learnings from his wonderful journey. Let us first of all ask Sahil about the educational background because Sahil has done engineering and then he moved into this preparing for SEBI Grade A exam, right? So many engineers might also be watching who are aspirants for this SEBI exam, so they might be hesitating a little. So Sahil, would you like to tell them about your educational background and how you came into the preparation, right?
sure, sir. So, hi guys. My name is Saahil Sankar. I'm from Trivandrum, Kerala. So, my initial schooling I had done from Kerala itself. And then I had written GE and I had got a seat in IIT Madras. So I had completed my dual degree in mechanical engineering from IIT Madras. So I passed out in 2023, and for the past 3 years, I've been working as an IT consultant in a Big Four consulting firm. So regarding how engineers can crack this examination, like this is a generalist post first of all. So even though there are subjects that are not familiar to us engineers, it is actually not. You don't have to go that deep into those subjects. It's actually you just need a surface level or a little bit more than surface level understanding. So there are many coaching institutes that are there that can easily equip you with the knowledge you need to qualify for this examination. And honestly speaking, if you compare it to the engineering subjects that we study in college, this commerce, accountancy, company side costing, it's actually very simple, theoretically at least, compared to these subjects. So it wouldn't be much of an issue to understand the subjects from our end. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
So great to know that you have uh, said that the subjects are slightly easier in comparison to the subjects in engineering. That's a correct thing, and that should actually motivate people that yes, you could go ahead and go for this post. It is again a generalist post. So yeah, as we were discussing, Sahil, that you have prepared for other exams also. Also, you got a little bent towards finance, okay, learning the things with respect to finance, right? So, would you like to
Yeah.
tell our audience with respect to that also?
Yes, sir. So first I'll tell about which all examinations I have written. So I had prepared for different examinations along with my job itself. So the first exam I had written was in 2024. I had written the SSC CGL. So that one I had cleared the tier one, but I was not able to qualify in the tier two. So that was one examination. Then in 2025 itself, I had written PFRDA grade A. That time I was not that completely prepared. I was I only had a very basic understanding. So I was able to qualify phase one with that, but I was very underprepared, so I did not have the confidence to take phase two. So and then the third examination that I wrote was SEBI. So for SEBI, I had prepared well, had covered all the subjects, and I had written the examinations. So these are the subjects that I had studied. I mean, these are the examinations that I had gone through. And regarding how I came from engineering background into finance, so I had developed an interest in finance since my college days itself. So mainly it is from the lockdown time. It's actually a funny story. When I'm sitting in home, there's nothing to do during the lockdown time. I was just watching some web series. So during that time, I stumbled upon a web series called Scam 1992. So my friends had told me that's an excellent series. You should watch it. So I watched it, and it was about stock market scam and financial sector in more detail. So yeah, that I got really interested in finance seeing that series only. So After that, I started to watch YouTube videos about finance, personal finance, that sort of thing. And then after I got a job, like when I got my first salary, I didn't know what to do with it. So again, I researched some investment avenues and all that sort of thing, and that introduced me to SEBI. So like that, I came across SEBI, and I thought, and I got to know that they are recruiting for grade A posts. So I thought, okay, I should give it a try. What if I get in? So I had prepared for SEBI like that, and I had given the examination, and I got in. That's how I came into this finance field. So,
So, web series are not that bad after
yeah.
all, if you take the positive learnings, of course, and
Yes.
that is, you are a great example for that. So, I would like to tell all of the audience and the aspirants that let life keep going on, but yeah, you should take the positive things from these things. So, it was
Yeah.
great to know that you came into and started exploring things related to finance in this way. Now, moving ahead, if I would just want to ask you that from an engineering background, coming into and learning these subjects like commerce, accountancy, costing, companies act, right? You had a natural inclination towards finance, you said, and apart from that, management, all of these things. Was it difficult to come into this? Of course, you already mentioned that these were easy, but still people hesitate to do that. So, what would you advise to them, and like how much time would it require for them to cope up with all of these subjects? How much time did you take? Would you just let us know?
Yes, sir. So first of all, when I say it is easy, it is not that easy. First of all, as I said, it's a generalist post, so you don't need to go that much deep. So I haven't gone that much deep, so I can't really say it was easy completely. What I studied, the topics that are relevant for the examinations are pretty easy to understand. That's what I meant when I said it is easy. And
Mm.
then regarding how I approach my preparation, as you said, I had zero knowledge about these technical subjects when I started. Finance again, I used to watch YouTube videos and read some reports and all like that. I used to gain an understanding. I had also prepared for RBI Grade B, but I never gave the examination. So from that also, I had an understanding of finance. So finance was pretty much okay, but the other subjects like accounting, costing, company stats, this I had zero knowledge. So I knew that if I try to do self-study for these subjects, like there are like multiple sources. So and then I don't know where to start. I don't know where to end. So it would be too much of a hassle. And I also have a job. So I thought the best thing to do for someone who does not have a background in this subject is to take a coaching. So when you take a coaching, basically you don't have to make up your own study plan, or you don't have to take go through other sources or anything. Everything they will provide in one place. So I took a coaching. I took EduTap's coaching only for that, and then I just properly studied it from end to end. All the subjects that EduTap has provided, I studied it from end to end. Like I did not rely on anything else. I just followed them blindly. So I studied all the topics. I watched all the videos, and then they have a like a sectional test after each topic. There's a test corresponding to that topic. I used to do all those tests. So and then after each topic, they also have a very interesting feature. Like after each topic, they have the previous year questions relevant to that particular topic also attached. So I think that really helped me. So after each topic I studied, I used to try to do the previous year questions that are given in that PDF. So that I think was really helpful. So like in these ways, I think yeah, if you take a coaching and you follow it blindly, you don't need to rely on anything else. At least for phase one and phase two. So that is what I can say.
So, I am happy and I'm delighted that we were able to help you as far as the preparation is concerned. So, as I can understand that you kept an approach that a single source with respect to at least phase one and phase two would definitely help a lot instead of moving here and there. And many a times we see aspirants studying from multiple sources, the same subject they're studying from two, three teachers and all. So, would you say a single source actually helped you in narrowing down things and also taking less time as far as the preparation is concerned? Would you advise the same?
Yes, sir. So if you look at a single source, if you look at multiple sources, at least 80% of the topics in all the sources will be similar only. So only 20% there will be some minor changes. So minor differences. So it wouldn't. So I think it is best to stick to one particular source And instead of going through multiple sources, just stick to one particular source and revise it multiple times as much as you can. So that is the best approach you can follow. So like if you take multiple sources, you will think that okay, maybe there is some other source that is even better than this. So you will always have that FOMO that you're missing out on the best source. So just forget about multiple sources. Just take any one. Just what. Just try to identify which is the best source. Just one time you identify that, and you choose that, and you stick with that till the end of your preparation. So that is the best thing you can do. The most time effective thing that you can do as far as your preparation is concerned. And I would suggest EduTap. It's good.
Thank you so much, Sahil. And coming to the thing that like many people think that the preparation for phase one and phase two, because the subjects are same in SEBI as far as the paper two is concerned. So, is it a holistic preparation, or do we have to prepare in a different manner for phase one and phase two? Are they different? Would you like to throw some light on that?
Yes, sir. I will try to tell how I approached it. So, as I said, phase one paper two and phase two paper two have exactly the same syllabus. So, what I had actually started my preparation dedicatedly for SEBI after the notification came only. So that would be in early November. So November, December, January, I had around 2.5 to 3 months in my hands. So I had started preparation during that time, and I had focused, as I said, entirely on EduTap. So these three subjects, accounting, costing, and companies act, these are the completely new subjects to me. So I had decided I would put my entire focus into these three particular subjects for the next 2 months. So I had gone through every single video, I had gone through every single PDF, I had gone through every single practice question, every single PYQ that was there. So like that I had prepared, and then yeah, that was integrated for phase one and phase two. Like there was no separate phase one preparation, phase two preparation. So I tried to complete these three subjects, and then also economics was also there. Economics, there were some topics on microeconomics that I did not know about. So that one also I relied on EduTap. I watched the videos and read the PDFs. I did the questions also. So I completed all the subjects, the main subjects before phase one itself. And then there were some topics that are left out, like a few topics in management, a few topics in finance that I did not learn. So that one after I learned after phase two, but those were very small topics. It was not that much of a difficulty. So and then for phase two preparation, what I mainly did was mock tests only. I did not and revision also obviously. So revision and mock test is what I did for phase two. I did not rely on any other different strategy or anything. It's all the same sources, same approach for phase one and phase two. Yes.
Okay, so what you suggest is prepare most of the subjects for phase two itself before phase one, so that you, because the time between phase one and phase two is less, so at that time you're revising and taking mock tests only mainly, and as the subjects are same, that would definitely help for phase one also. Is uh,
Ye-
right?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
for as far as mock test is concerned, I would say that write as many mock tests as you can. That's the main thing you should do between phase one and phase two, because phase two, as you know, is completely merit based. It's not qualifying. You need to score very high marks. So by writing mock tests, you can identify which are your weak areas. Like you can like identify which are your weak areas. You can work on them. Then you can like sometimes you'll make some very silly mistakes that you should not make. You'll know the answer, but due to some reason you'll mark a wrong option. So that sort of stuff you can catch in the mock test, and then you can improve upon that. You can try to reduce the avoidable errors. So that is a very important aspect. So mock test is the main thing during phase between phase one and phase two. So
Yes, so mock tests have a great utility. No,
yeah,
that's great to know that. Now, coming to each of these subjects, like QRE might not be a big issue for you since you are from the engineering background, but still, if you would like to tell us what was your approach with respect to phase one QRE and also the current affairs that were there, how did you prepare for them?
yes, sir. So I will share my preparation for phase one paper one. As you said, there's quant reasoning, English, and current affairs. So first of all, say about current affairs. Actually, I have been very weak in current affairs since my school days. So I thought the best, and in SEBI, as you know, you need a 30% uh, mark to qualify the phase one
Yes.
paper one, and there is no sectional cutoff. You just need to get 30% overall
Oh,
out of 100. So I took a very big risk. I thought, okay, I'll just completely leave current affairs. I'll just focus on the other three subjects.
Okay.
and I was reasonably well versed with QRE, so I thought I can pull this off. And then I for preparation, I did not study that much for QRE. I just did the mock test. That's the main thing I did. So one thing, my strategy during the mock test was that instead of targeting 30 out of 100, I will target 30 out of 75. So I put that as my target in mind, and I used to write the mock test. And in the mock test, I was easily able to get more than 30 marks. So I thought that yeah, without the GK also, I will be able to qualify. It will not be that much of an issue. So I have followed the same approach during the final exam also. I had written quant reasoning English really well. At least quant and English I had written really well. Reasoning, by the time I had completed quant and English, I was like pretty sure I have crossed the cutoff of 30. So I thought that reasoning, let's not take unnecessary risks. Let's not waste brain power. Let's just keep it safe for the paper too. So I just got the some questions that are like very simple questions that I can easily get.
Mm.
I didn't do any puzzles or anything for reasoning. So and then I just skimmed through the GK part. If by chance if there is something that I know, then I can take it as a bonus. But I did not rely on GA to qualify for phase one, sir. So yeah, that's the approach I followed for QRE.
Okay. So, going for the strengths is something that I would say people should do as far as the paper one is concerned because it's just qualifying, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what I would say is like don't be overconfident. You should be giving some mocks just to make sure that in case you are following the strategy like this, just give some mocks early on to make sure that you are getting above 30 marks. If you are able to comfortably get above 30, then I guess you can skip GK. It wouldn't be much of an issue. But
Okay.
give the mocks and convince yourself first.
First, we have to check whether we are actually clearing the cutoff or not, and then go for the
Yes.
approach. That's great. Now, coming to the core subjects, if I just ask you about SEBI 2025 exam specifically, it was really difficult, is what everyone is saying. So, uh, you prepared definitely for the exam in a holistic manner, but then there were questions which were slightly out of the box, and also a few new kind of questions talking about specific subjects like commerce, accountancy. All of these, there were expectation that there will be more number of numericals and all, but the pattern was slightly different. So was it a
Yes.
surprise for you when you sat for the exam, or how did you cope up with that situation?
Yes, sir, definitely. Like exam was much difficult than the previous years that I had attempted. So, as the exam was difficult, the mock test really helped. Actually, the mock tests were also. It was not as difficult as the main exam, but it was still of a reasonable difficulty level. So I think that really helped. And as you said, accountancy and costing did have some, not costing, but accountancy mainly had some difficult topics that I did not know about. I mean, I knew about, but I was not that sure. So, but what I did was I did not answer everything. I just tried to answer as many questions as that I know. I didn't try. I tried to avoid the negatives as much as I can. So I try to say what I did for each paper, for each subject. So accountancy, I just wrote whatever I know. So I didn't take unnecessary risk. Costing was not that difficult. There were a few difficult questions. So right now I can't really remember, but costing was not that difficult. But it was doable. Companies Act, I think Companies Act is the one where you can really make a difference because if you study that subject properly, you can easily score full marks. It's not that much of an issue. Like there, sometimes they might ask a few one or two questions that are out of syllabus. You can leave that, but even if you leave that, like, the rest of the questions they'll be asking direct. They won't be making too much of twists and turns in those questions. It'll be pretty straightforward only. So Companies Act, I would say just prepare it as thoroughly as you can. Revise it multiple times, like by heart it if you can. So just Companies Act is the turning point you can say, or the point of difference you can say. So just prepare Companies Act very well, and then yeah. I think in finance they had asked some questions about GST and some ITR form, something like that. I had zero idea, so I did not even attempt that. So that I left, and management also was easy only. So management is comparatively the most easier subjects I would say out of all these. So management questions were also not that tough. There were a couple of application based questions, but it's not too deep of application. It's just you can easily, if you think about it, you can easily get the answers. So overall, yeah, once I came out of the examination hall, I was like, okay, this was not an easy paper at all. This was very tough. It was very lengthy. Like when I used to do the mocks, I used to complete the paper very, very before the time limit. So, but in the final examinations, I just managed to complete the paper. I did not even get time to revise, like go through the questions once again. So it was very time consuming. So, but I still was able to write it. I did not know whether I will qualify or not, uh, I but I knew that I did not make too much of mistakes. I knew that I had left the ones I did not know. So that's the strategy I followed, sir.
So it's like if you know the core concepts, you can rely on the accuracy and even face such kind of papers and not take a whole lot of risk on in that time itself, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So actually, the EduTap material also was quite comprehensive. So I think going end to end for any one source, as I said earlier, that is the best thing you can do. Since I went end to end from start to finish of one particular coaching institute, that really helped me. I revised it multiple times also. So even if they ask a little bit deep questions, you can like recall it since you have read it so many times. So that's something that helped.
Okay, that's wonderful. Also, I would like to mention that there were some questions in finance and economics, like which were slightly on the numerical side. Like they were have asked a few numerical kind of questions is something that we came to know. So, how did you face these things? It was like a new kind of questions were there.
Yes, so right now I don't really remember the numericals. I remember in economics there was one very difficult numerical. I had tried to do it about some, I don't remember exactly, about some deposit ratio or something. I don't really remember, but I had tried to do it, but I was not able to do it. I had tried multiple times. I was like getting confused, and I thought not worth the effort to for one mark. I'll just leave this for now. And for finance also, I think they had asked some numericals about bonds or something like that. So it was not, and I think a few of the numericals you can try to find the answer looking at the options itself, because the options had a lot of differences. So that is, I use the options for a few, one or two numericals. And then the remaining numericals, I think there were a lot of concept based numericals that if you know the concept well, you can write it properly. So that's the strategy I followed for the numericals. As I said earlier, I just wrote the questions I was sure about, or at least I do like I can narrow it down to two options. So those are the type of questions I wrote mainly. Out
Okay.
of 100 questions, I wrote 83, I think, out of 100. Yes.
Okay. Fine. So the crux is that if you have the basic knowledge strong, you will be able to do those, and that too covering things end to end of a single source would be something that is going to help you out right there, even if the paper is slightly on the difficult side. Right? That is what you want to say.
Yes, sir. And also for finance, you can look at the. I had also gone through the this current affairs means like the main documents like budget, economic survey, and SEBI's annual report. These kind of major documents, you just go through them, and then rely completely for the static part. Rely on any one source, as I said. So that is the strategy I follow.
Yes, that's great to know. Now, coming to descriptive English,
Okay.
I think descriptive English is something that you were able to do well, but the interface over there is something that people are afraid of. And did you face any such issue right there? How did your descriptive English paper go?
Yeah, so regarding my preparation for the descriptive English, I had written mock tests for descriptive English. So what I did was I had bought a keyboard for from Amazon, I think. So
Okay,
keyboard means I didn't buy in advance the very basic keyboard that you can get. I got that particular keyboard because I know that the keyboard in the exam scenario will be also be very basic only. So try to replicate the exam scenario in that way. And I used to like write mock descriptive sessions. Like there are three questions, as you know: essay, précis, and comprehension. So essay, what you need is you need what can I say? You need some content. For content, you can rely on sources as the major documents I said earlier: budget, economic survey, annual report of SEBI. So these are the main things I relied on for the content of the topics. And then you need to frame your answers very well. So framing means introduction, body, conclusion. In the introduction, just give some sort of statistics corresponding to whatever topic they are given. The body just analyze whatever they are asking you to analyze, and then the conclusion just put out your conclusions based on the analysis you have given in the body. So this is a strategy you can follow for the comprehend like the essay. And for essay, like one thing I used to do, like since childhood, I used to read a lot of books. So my vocabulary was actually very good. Okay, good. So it was not that much of an issue. And so like that, I used to prepare for Prezi. You need to summarize a particular. There'll be a big passage. You need to summarize it in a few words. So that one also, once you read the passage they have given, you can identify, okay, what are they actually trying to say here? What is the main crux of the matter they're saying? You identify that and you pick out some, there'll be a few keywords, a few key lines given the passage, just write that in your own words. So that will be how you approach the Prezi. Then reading comprehension, you just have to read the passage and there'll be some questions related to that passage. Just read the passage and you can write those answers. So coming to my actual English descriptive, I did something very foolish. So in the first essay question was, I read the question. I thought it was about services sector in India. So okay, I thought okay, this is a good topic. I have a good amount of knowledge about this topic. So I had written a very good answer in about 15 to 20 minutes. I had written a good answer, and then I just double check my answer. Okay, the answer is well. And then I looked at the question again, and the question was not about services sector at all. It was about e-commerce, no, quick commerce. So I was like, oh my God, how the hell did I think of it as services sector? And then I had to erase everything. I had to start from the beginning again. So I wrote a quick answer about this e-commerce thing. And then by that time, I think if a lot of time had gone, it has been around 35 to 40 minutes. And then I quickly went to the Prezi. I just wrote a fast Prezi and then reading comprehension. I was not able to answer all the questions. I think I left one question, and one question I was only able to answer in a few lines, very 2 or 3 lines. So I think I messed up English, but thankfully I qualified. That's the main thing.
Okay, nice. So yeah, for like people are slightly worried about the essay part, so you can go to the main document is something that Sahil is mentioning, so that you have points beforehand. It's not that from somewhere you'll get some points on that day itself. You will have to have some points handy, and also of course you need to work on your vocabulary and sentence formation, the structure of the essay also. Apart from that, other things as Sahil has mentioned, you can prepare. Now,
Yeah.
now that descriptive English is fine, and moving ahead, if we talk about the interview, okay. So in
Mm.
the interview, would you like to mention what was your approach? How did you prepare for the interview? Is there anything that we can specifically do for interview, or did you prepare after phase two only for the interview, or did you like develop something? The people say you need to develop a personality for the interview. Is that required? What would you say?
Yes. So as you know, in SEBI Grade A, interview only has 15% of the weightage, and it's the phase two that has 85% of weightage. So I don't think it makes sense to prepare for the interview even before phase two. So you should like wait for after you complete phase two, you can start preparing for interview. That's the best thing you can do because phase two it needs your complete attention. It's not the interview. Interview is just 15%. So you need to prepare for phase two thoroughly, and then once you complete phase two, you can prepare for interview. I myself had only started my preparation of interview after the result of phase two was announced. So regarding how I approach my preparation, look, interview is not about your technical knowledge anymore because your technical knowledge has already been tested. They have already checked you as much as they can. So now they want to know about your personality. So interview is basically a personality test. You need to like know exactly why you want to join SEBI. You need to like they can ask you anything about yourself, starting right from your name. So just make be thorough of everything you know about yourself. When you're filling the this PIF personal information form, for each line, just make sure you have an explanation that what you're writing in for each line. Just make sure you have an explanation for that. So that is one thing you can do, and then give mock interviews. but I did not give too many. I just gave two mock interviews, and mock interviews went well for me. So, but the thing about interviews, you really cannot predict. There are just too many factors to. There are just too many variable factors when you compare to the phase two. Because I think someone told me that phase one and phase two is like a futures contract, but interview is like a forwards contract. So basically, what it basically means is this phase one and phase two is standardized. It's same for everyone, but interview is like it depends a lot of too many factors. It depends on your background. It depends on how the panel is feeling. How what is the mood of the panel. So like you can't really predict. No matter how many mock interviews you give, there is just too much of unpredictability. So keep that in mind, keep an open mind, and go to the interview hall and just try to answer the questions they're given. You don't panic or anything. They might try to grill you, but just keep your cool and just answer them calmly. That is what I would say. And coming to my personal interview experience, look, the mock interviews I had given, they were like 30 to 40 minutes each, but the final interview was hardly 10 minutes. So, and they didn't ask me any technical, yeah, they did ask me a couple of technical questions, and then everything else was completely related to me. So it was like, why do you want to join SEBI? You are from IT background. Then they asked me the meaning of my name. They asked me something about mechanical. I had mentioned in my introduction that I like to read books. So they asked me, what is the last book you read? And then they asked me, I had told that I like to play cricket as one of my hobbies. They asked me, are you a batsman or a bowler? So like, those are the kind of questions they mostly ask. Technical was very less. So yeah, just as I said, don't be too dependent on the interview to get through. Just make sure you focus more on phase two preparation. That is the main thing that's going to get you through this examination. That's what I feel.
Okay, so considering there's 85% weightage of the phase two, so we have to focus more on the phase two is something that you are mentioning here, right?
Yes,
So, yes, all of this actually helps all of the aspirants or the learnings from your journey are really great. I think they would be really, that would be really helpful to them. Apart from that, as we were discussing, that it is not that we alone have cleared the exam. It is a help of a whole lot of people behind us. You were mentioning you also had a peer group along with you that you developed, and your family members too. Like you said that you did not even reveal to them. So how did all of this go about? How did all of these people actually become a part of your preparation journey? Would you like to mention?
yes, sir. So during my time in my work, so in my workplace, I had like a friend group of people who were preparing for competitive examinations, different examinations like UPSC, SSC, GATE, so different examinations. So we had formed sort of like a study group where we used to discuss our ideas, and we used to have late night talks in our rooms about what is happening in the world, like about some issues that's happening in the world. So that really helped me to like broaden my worldview, and they also gave me motivation to study. So that is something that really helps. So having a peer group really helps in when you're preparing for competitive exam, because otherwise it will be a very lonely journey. You will have to take it through, and where you're taking it through a online coaching. So without a peer group, it will become very lonely. You will feel lazy. You won't feel motivated to do it. So
Mhm.
yeah, that is something that really helps. And then regarding family, yeah, as I told you, I did not tell them about PFRDA at all. And SEBI also, I only told after the phase two was out. I just told them about this. Okay, I've qualified for this. Main reason for that is like they will keep asking me for reminders. Okay, so did the result come? Did the result come? They'll tell the relatives. So relatives also ask, okay, what happened to your exam? So I did not want all that. Why take unnecessary pressure? Just put that all aside for now. Anyway, once you get it, you can tell them and they'll be very happy. That's the best thing you can do. So yeah, that is something I followed, but it can differ for you. Maybe you want to tell your parents. So yeah, it varies. That's what I can say.
Yes, great to know that. And like we were discussing that, are there any barriers or challenges with respect to the preparation journey, right? So you can also let our audience know how did you cope up with any challenges that you were facing?
Yes, sir. So I had started my preparation after the notification came. So it was in early November. I think I started my preparation. So November, December, January, I had 3 months for phase one exam, 2.5 to 3 months. So consistently studying for 2.5 to 3 months every single day is actually a very big task. So there were many days that I did not even want to open my tab. Basically, I used to study my tab only. There were many days I did not even want to open my tab. I thought, just leave it for today. We can start from tomorrow. I used to think like that. So, but the thing is, once you stop for one day will become 2 days, two will become 3 days. It's very difficult to get back on track once you stop. So I just told myself, like, imagine 3 months from now, you have given the phase one or the phase two examination and you are not able to clear it. And the reason you are not able to clear it is because on this particular day you decided, let me just take a rest for today. And because of that, I was not able to proceed further. So today was the trigger that ultimately leads me to losing out on the final selection in the phase two or the interview. So do you really want that? So I used to think like that, and I just made myself clear. Okay, I cannot stop. I need to be disciplined. It's just for 3 months. You have a lot of time to relax after that. It's not a big deal. So I used to tell myself that, and then I just used to open my tab and I just used to like go through the videos. Like I don't stop. If you stop, then you can't get back on track. It's very difficult to get back on track. So the main thing is don't stop. And one thing that really helped is like you can track how much time you're learning. So there is this app called Forest. In the Forest app, you can track how much time you're studying. So every time before I watch a lecture or before I start reading a PDF, I go to that particular app and I start a timer. So that timer will track how much time I'm studying. And after I finish the particular topic, I go to that timer and I stop the timer. So like that, seeing when each time a particular you start a timer, a particular tree grows. It's very exciting. So
Mhm.
you can see in your forest, you can see so many trees growing. So that also it sort of gives you a motivation to see. Okay, you studied for this many minutes today. You studied for this many minutes this week. Seeing that also gives you motivation. Okay, I'm doing well. I just need to continue what I'm doing. So that is also something that really helps. And the topics are also like there's no difficulty in understanding topics. It's pretty easy to understand, I would say. The challenge lies in the discipline of covering everything and being consistent, of writing the mock tests and just keeping at it. That is the main tough part. It's not the actual topics you are studying per se. That's what I feel, sir. Yes.
Okay, great, great to know that you made the best use of everything that was around you. Like you were watching the web series, and that to motivated you to get into this, and that is the reason you're on the other side now. And also making use of the apps in the phone. Generally, we get distracted, but yeah, that's great to know that making the best use of everything around you, and also you need to keep going is something that is a great message and the example of just keep going, because Sahil mentioned that he was also sometimes scoring low in some of the mock tests. Even then, he used to say to himself that it must be an off day and then we can move ahead, and might be I would score really well in the exam. And he moved ahead without taking that to the heart. So it's great to know that all of these things would definitely help all of our aspirants really well as far as their preparation is concerned. Now, coming to the part wherein I would just want you to, if you would want to say anything to, like, you prepared majorly from EduTap, so if you would have any words towards EduTap, all the mentors, what would that be? How did they contribute towards your preparation as far as the exam is concerned?
Yes, sir. Coming to EduTap, like I did not rely on any particular mentorship from EduTap. It's mainly the content that I relied on EduTap from. So since I was working, I did not have time for any other mentorship and all that. The main thing is the content only. That's the honest truth. So EduTap has really good content that I can say, and the lectures and everything is very well structured. So. Uh, the main three subjects, commerce and accountancy, costing and company side, these three are being covered by Anjit sir only in the course. So these are the main subjects that I had to needed to study. So I completely relied on Anjit sir's teachings for this. So I think Anjit sir really played the biggest role in my preparation, you can say. So yeah, without EduTap, I don't think it would have been possible for me to clear this examination. So EduTap played a big role. Thank you so much for this. So
Thanks a lot.
yeah,
Thanks a lot, Sahil. We are glad to be a part of your preparation journey. Apart from that, would you like to say something to our wonderful aspirants who are preparing for the upcoming examinations? What would be your message if you would like to give them? What should they have in their mind as far as their preparation journey is concerned?
Yeah, so regard to the aspirants, I would like to say just keep at it, don't give up. The only way to guarantee failure is to not write the examination at all. So just don't give up, just keep on doing. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I would like to say. One thing I would like to say is that don't put too much time into planning a perfect strategy. So, like you will think that if once I get the perfect strategy, I will be able to qualify this examination. But that's not how it works. I feel that just pick up any strategy. Don't put too much time in preparing a strategy. That's what I'd say. Just pick up any strategy. If you want, you can prepare your own strategy. You can take a from a coaching institute. Like there are multiple strategy videos available online in YouTube. Just take any one strategy, and the difficult part is not making strategy, is actually sticking to strategy for the rest of your preparation journey. So that is the difficult part. So just focus on that part. Just don't give up. Just be disciplined and stay away from social media. That's one thing I would like to say because it could be very distracting. That's one of the main things that can derail you from your journey. So stay away from social media. Just keep going. Don't give up. Just keep going. That's all I would like to say.
Okay, that's great. So Sahil is the best example of the statement that make the right decision and make the decision right. Okay, so that is something that we should keep doing, keep going along with your journey. And it was wonderful, Sahil, interacting with you and knowing about your journey as far as the preparation for this exam is concerned. Once again, a very big congratulations from the entire team of EduTap, and we would like to wish you all the best for everything that you plan ahead. And thanks a lot for coming here and discussing your strategy and letting all know how did you prepare for this exam. Thank you so much, Sahil. Thanks for being
So
here.
thank you so much. It's my pleasure.